So welcome back to The Hunter Call of the Wild here in Early Access. We are not on Scotland this evening, we are heading into the Trophy Lodge. And as you can see, things are looking a little bit different here. I wanted to go through everything in the Premium Trophy Mount pack, as well as just patch 8.4, all of the free things that come along with the Trophy Lodge. So let's dive right into that. So first things first, before we get into the actual Lodge customization stuff, the Trophy Manager UI is so much cleaner now. The one thing that I wish is that more animals or multi-mounts were shown here. You can see we just have 5 different things displayed, but it's so much more clear what you're looking at now, and that larger, like, I guess, specific animal section, showing the species, the fur type, score, medal, all that, is way easier to identify. There only being 5 shown though, when you've got years and years and years of trophies, there's still a ton to scroll through, but luckily, that's where the new filters come in. And there's a ton of categories. You've got birds separated into landfowl and waterfowl, mammals with all these different sections, and your other down here for things that aren't specifically categorized. Pine martens, pronghorn, beaver show up here. I think, yeah, raccoon, musk deer. I don't know why musk deer wouldn't be with deer, but anyway. If we go back out and reset our filters, we have reptiles, we have just other animals outside of the mammal section. If we go into that, what you see is a lot of multi-mounts. Multi-mounts specifically that have more than one species a lot of times are going to show up here. You've got the breadwinner, that's going to be like Cape buffalo and lions. Side by side is still 2 white-tailed deer, so when it's not just the individual animal, that's going to be there. You can sort male and female, quite a difference there in the number of ones we've mounted. Rarity is of course an option here, and it's cool too to see what is called rare versus what's very rare. So like under rare here, piebald mule deer, piebald Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, piebald whitetail. Very rare would be more like your albinos and melanistics and stuff. Clear that. We also have medal, and you can sort by animal class, all the way 1 to 9. By the way, under medal, for the great ones, those are separated. Great antler, great fang, and great wing. Those are the 3 different options for like the 3 different great one medals you can get. So, with all of that out of the way, let's dive into some of the customization. Now, unfortunately, as of now, you can't customize the gun plaques up here. Everything else, though, is pretty much customizable. And you can see I've got some of the premium branch mounts up here with red fox and pheasants. Those look really, really cool. All of these back here are premium plaques. I do have some throughout the lodge of the non-premium ones. And also, one thing I want to touch on so I don't forget. For whatever reason, with these like little small round platforms, so if we go over into the platform section up here, the like original default one, if we apply that, for whatever reason we can't customize it. I don't know why that would be, but as long as you do this one, you can go into the paints, customize it. I love this premium rosewood, it looks really, really nice. That's what I've got on there. So what we want to do here is go through literally everything, just so you can see it. By the way, like that behind, that leucistic turkey, that is one of the base games, a non-premium plaque, so even if you don't buy the premium trophy mount DLC, you still have access to a bunch of those plaques and platforms, and that is what we're going to take a look at. Now, each of these different ones, extra large, extra large, medium, etc., has a bunch of different options, and the cool thing is this preview over here, you don't have to, like, you know, set all your options and back out just to see what it's going to look like. So all the ones across the top here are the default ones. Those do not require the DLC. Anything that says premium down here is a part of the DLC. So we have the number 1 option, and again the preview is going to be over here. We have platform 2, almost like a step stair up. Platform 3, a similar thing. Platform 4 is more of just a box. You've got platform 5, again kind of stair stepping up, and then I'm really glad platform 6, again in the non-DLC one, has this kind of like section that where it just like sits on the legs. I really like those for the platforms. So getting into the premium ones, you see like there's some of the engravings and like the inlays and stuff like that. Obviously, you've also got this part where it shows the medal, and I think it just shows the highest medal that's displayed on the plaque or platform. An interesting thing, if you get far enough away from that medal, it disappears. So if I pull up the camera, you can't see it. Zoom in, the medal shows up. But then to round out the premium platforms for the extra large section, you can see again kind of a stair stepping up again with some of the inlays and all that. This is my favorite one. Premium Platform 3, where it's got like the legs that the platform actually sits on. And then Platform 4, again, more of like a boxy section. So the Premium Platform 3 and the default Platform 6 are fairly similar. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. Same basic design, but the Premium one seems to sit up a little higher, and of course, it has the Premium feature of displaying the metal on there. So while we're here, I want to talk about the cosmetics that we can do. So there's a bunch of, paints, options for that kind of stuff. I don't love that on the wood personally. The different wood grains are my favorite, but this is probably the biggest downside for me. All of the wood grains are premium. So you have like the premium ebony wood, you've got mahogany, oak, pine, and then again that premium rosewood that I really, really like. There's these camouflage options and all that, but I wish there was at least a couple of non-premium wood grains. Now, of course, if you do like a non-premium platform, that basic wood grain is still on there, but you have to go with that color. You can't change it. So also, we'll go over all the different plaques, and I'm kind of standing at this weird spot because it shows the preview decently well. All the ones in the top row are the base game ones. So they're coming with the update whether you buy the DLC or not. I think this is the shape of the plaque that was already in the game prior to this update. There's a more kind of rounded variety. I would call this almost an arrowhead plaque. The ones I have in real life are pretty similar to this. There's, again, kind of a rounded one with the little corners there, and I don't know what to call this one. I guess sort of a combo of both. All of those are the base game ones. Now, just to be clear, you wouldn't be able to have the premium rosewood on there. They're, I guess, closer to the oak. It's not exactly that either, but close enough. And then, the premium ones on the bottom row, they have those premium features, of course, showing the metal on the bottom of the plaque. Again, if you're standing close enough, we back up far enough here, the metal goes away. I don't know if that's resource saving or why that's a thing. It's kind of neat. It's almost like it's motion activated coming up, but I kind of wish it just stayed there. It also, of course, has all the, the decoration around the outside of the plaque. The metal that you have, so this is a super rare mule deer diamond, is like shown along the outside, that kind of blue color. If we go in here, we have some rare golds. The outside of the plaque there is gold. You'd have the same for silver and bronze. I don't know what a nothing metal actually shows as. Find that out. But then to round off the premium plaques, just some different kind of decor and stuff. I do quite like this one with like the sort of more pronounced leaves on the outside of the plaque. Just different things you can do there. And with this one, if there's an exclamation point on the branch mount, you can put a branch mount there, but you can't have that species on the branch mount. Obviously, a mule deer doesn't go here. Now, I spent hours on this lodge yesterday, and one thing I noticed way too late is a lot of these plaques look best without any of the paints, like the custom decor on it. So I've got the premium pine on this, and it looks fine, but I want you to take note of the designs on the outside. If we remove the pine paint here, it just stands out a little bit better. It's a little bit darker, I think. Just helps to kind of like separate the two, and I prefer that a whole lot more. You can see up top I've got a similar thing going on. All these things basically are done that way, and I want to redo them because I really prefer that. The rosewood one, I like that. I think you can kind of paint over basically the old wood grain, but this one in particular, and that is, I think, premium plaque 2, yeah, super, super nice with no custom paint. And I guess, just to be clear, the plaques are basically the same other than size. So we could go to this size and, we can run through all those same plaques again. You could go to the really big plaque. It's all the same options. It's just scaled to whatever size the animal is on there. And I like that arrowhead plaque. A couple things you could do with it, obviously, with the base game customization, but my goodness, I said it when they revealed this stuff. I'm not gonna, try to hide from the fact that the coolest stuff in this update is definitely a part of the DLC, and I wish there were a couple more cool options for just the base game update. So we're gonna run through the other platform options. Weird thing, by the way. For some reason, the grass moves on the, I think it's all of them, or at least all the premium ones. That'll have to be changed, obviously, because it shouldn't be moving, but just to quickly kind of click through them, we have the default ones again. Similar to the extra large that we looked at, but these are a little bit different because this is the massive platform. Premiums, similar designs again, but a little bit different size, and I think there's one less for the massive platform. These actually are some of my favorites. They are the medium size. If we go into those, there actually are some nice, like, base game ones here. I just like the design of it a whole lot. Keep in mind, too, this is painted over. Let's just remove that so we can see it a little bit better. A nice, like, varnish on these. And this default one almost resembles that premium rosewood. So with these, at least, there are a little better options, I think, for the base game ones. I think we had maybe that one on there. Doesn't look too bad. And then rounding out the premium platforms, of which there are 4 for this size. Pretty similar throughout. Again, you've got this one that sits on the legs that's elevated a little bit. I do quite like that. Actually, why not? We will switch that on this one. And it's got the metal, again, showing the highest metal of whatever is displayed in the multi-mount. And it has that trim, in this case with the diamond. If you zoom in on that, by the way, it's like diamond patterns that cross, like a herringbone kind of thing. It's pretty neat. These small platforms, they're just huge. And I'm going to go ahead again and remove the paint just so you can kind of see what it actually looks like on the preview on the right. A couple of different designs there. I actually quite like this. I don't know if it's octagonal technically or how many sides that has, but that's pretty clean. I wish there was a premium one of that, because that's my favorite design for the overall, look of it. But obviously with some of the premium features, showing the metal and having that trim of, whatever metal it is too, there's definitely that upside. I think we had this one. A cool thing, by the way, some of these kind of sit further down in. You can see where the lip of the platform comes up over. This particular one, if we don't click over it, has a little bit less of that. So that's why I went with that one, and I think I've got the same one over here with our duck out multi-mount. As we come through here, you see, I've got Canada geese all over these branch mounts, and you can put a branch mount almost anywhere. I think the only ones that can't have it are plaques that couldn't have any of the species anyway. So if we were to run in here, these super tiny plaques that I've got the musk deer and muntjacs on, if we go in here, it doesn't matter what's on the plaque, it would at least show you if there's an option for the branch to be there, and there's not. So you cannot put the branch mounts on these super tiny plaques. But one of the places like I hate in this lodge, and I like a lot better now, was here. There were like 5 small plaques here. I didn't like the way it looked. Now, throw some branch mounts on there, change it up, and I think it looks really cool. We got a fox and a coyote looking down on this leucistic pheasant. I am going to show you like how to set up the branch and rock mounts because it's a little confusing, but got some turkeys roosted up there. Like, I hope this is only the beginning of those special mounts, and I also hope there's going to be some base game special mounts because they're really cool, and it can just really transform your lodge, and again, make everybody's lodge unique. Just to show again, by the way, like, if we wanted to add a branch mount here, the option is there. So this size plaque can have the branch mount, so long as you pair it up with the species, it can go on the branch mount. And we've already talked about those. I'll throw them on screen real quick so you can see which ones they are. Jumping into the massive round platforms, which are different. We'll go through the base game ones. Let's remove that paint real quick. More or less, all these are kind of the same, but you've got that kind of octagonal design again, which is really clean. Just to show you, pretty darn nice. And again, there is one that sits up on the legs, which is what I had from the premium side. That actually looks really nice. Big fan of that one for anybody that doesn't have the DLC. Let's jump back through to the premium ones. Again, the designs are decently similar, minus some of the additional decoration and inlays and all that. Big difference being some of those premium features. By the way, it is specifically the round platforms that can have the rock mount, but obviously with this multi-mount or moose in general, you can't have a rock mount there. We do have some rock mounts, and we'll take a look at those. By the way, on like what I'm considering my best mounts, great ones, super rares, things like that, that's mostly where I'm putting this premium rosewood because it just helps those two stand out. Gotta get awfully close to that one to get the metal to show up. I don't think, at least, we've seen the large platforms just yet, so we will click through the previews of those, remove the premium rosewood once again, and for these, it's mostly all kind of like a sort of boxy shape, and even, frankly, with the premium ones, but you do have the one that sits up on the legs. Going through those. Some pretty cool options in there. We'll swap back to what we had, and I at least think we've now seen all the plaques, at least in, different ways. The sizes of them, like I talked about, can change. Little tiny plaque there for the capercaillie. But we've seen all the plaque designs and we've seen all of the platforms designs except for the rock mounts. By the way, the Great One Red Deer is a little bit different. The facial structure is different, and oh my goodness, like the shaggy fur on the neck, we gotta get it for the non-Great One Red Deer. It completes that model so well. Like, it looks really, really good now. But you can see this guy hanging out on the rock. I personally hate the fact that it's like a half of a platform. I don't know that that has to be there. Hopefully they can get rid of that. Like, it just feels like it shouldn't be there. But we then have over here our Great One Black Bear on the rock mount. Really, really clean looking. Kind of just together here. And I hope at some stage they are able to make it so maybe some of the like square or rectangular platforms can be the rock mount. I get it on the circle because like it kind of has to be able to spin so you can get the rock facing how you wanted, but there's not a ton of those options around. Like, I guess we could maybe do one here. Nope, we can't. So one, like the medium size is too small. Okay, so let's talk the branch and rock mounts real quick because it took me a minute to figure out how those actually work. You can see I've got the albino Merriam's turkey over on that side. By the way, cannot wait to be able to add Eastern and Rios to that. So you can see we can choose the branch mount over here, but the preview is unavailable because the selected mount and trophy are incompatible. Our red grouse over there cannot go on a branch mount. When we go back over here to trophies, minus the one that's already listed here, it automatically only shows me things that can go on that branch mount. And I think like if you go back and forth, sometimes it goes away and shows you everything again. But the only things listed are pheasants, turkeys, red fox. There'll be coyotes on here, Canada geese, the things that can go on here. Now, I want to put a leucistic turkey on here. That's what I had before I removed this for our little display here. So we'll go into birds, we'll go into landfowl, and then we can go into rarity. And I forget if they're considered very rare or rare, so we'll select both. We have a leucistic hen, but that's not what I want. Another leucistic hen. Keep on going down. There is our leucistic gobbler. So we can apply, and then we can set him in whatever pose we want. By the way, I think the reason it is so limited in terms of like the species that can go on the special mounts and the amount of poses, they're very detailed. Like, you can see how the foot of the turkey is kind of like sitting there grabbing onto the branch. The other foot is elevated. He's kind of like mid-strut there, maybe just about to fly down. That's the image that I have in my head. And I just think that looks super, super nice. I'm gonna tear this down real quick, but the same is the case for the rock mount. So I've put our Buck and Brock multi-mount here just for now. We go into the edit mode. First thing we do is select the rock. Preview is unavailable, but now it's only going to show us the things that can go here. Black bear, red deer, roe deer, bison. That roe deer one is sick, by the way. Okay, that's not what I want there, but that is neat. Give me a Great One roe deer one day, and I can promise I'll have a rock mount just for him. Anyway, what we want on here is our fabled spotted black bear. We can now go ahead and apply and close. There's like no paints or anything obviously for the rock, so we are good with that. I like this pose. I think it's pretty neat, but coming in here, it just doesn't show the bear as much as I'd like. So if we go what we had, I think it was that one. It looks like he's, you know, up sort of elevated on a rock or like a little overlook or whatever, just looking over the entire land like a Great One bear should. So I think we've hit on all the special mounts, how to set those up, the differences with the, you know, customization, everything with the plaques, and I guess also the difference between the premium and non-premium ones. No doubt, you can set up a really good looking lodge and like a diverse lodge with the non-premium plaques. They look great, but it is really cool to be able to have the metal displayed, the inlays and the decor and stuff on the plaques. I'm definitely not going to say that that isn't a little bit cooler, but you know what? I guess at that point, it is very much a beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I'm of the opinion that trophy lodges make this game what it is, spending so many hours trying to get those great ones, diamonds, super rares, whatever it is. And then to be able to display them in the lodge in our own way now, with the differences in the plaques, whether it is the premium ones or not, that makes a massive, massive difference. And what I've really enjoyed, honestly, is those special mounts and being able to customize areas of the lodge. Like, I kind of think I might do this spot next. I've never been a fan of how this sets up, so we might have some different things on those branch mounts next. And again, if we could ever make these into the rock mounts, that would really open it up. But I wanted to go through that just so you guys know what you'd be getting into if you do purchase the premium trophy mount pack DLC, and also kind of like how to set some of those things up, because like I said, I spent hours on this. Took me a minute to figure out how to use the branch mounts and rock mounts, where they go and all that kind of stuff. It's some cool stuff, and as I said, I really hope this is only the beginning for this stuff, because it is awesome. It makes the Trophy Lodge experience so much more personal, so much more customized to whatever you want it to be, and yeah, I think it has made our Trophy Lodge look a whole lot better. And it's only just the beginning. Like, I have a lot more customization to do. A lot of this was just put a premium or a new plaque somewhere. Spending the time, changing them up, making them look just right, that is going to be a thing we spend a whole lot of time on going forward. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those regarding the pack, customization, all that stuff. Yeah, let me know, and I will see you next time.